Okay, I'm just making some research vids on the computer. I've got some moon videos that I'm going to be running through, doing 360s on the telescope with the camera, and then on over here I've got all this set up. So I'm going to throw this camera onto these. I've got photographs of the moon and videos of the moon going at the same time, and at the same time I'm working on that. I'm going to tripped over this fucking thing. At the same time doing that, I gotta make some more music for a soundtrack, which I know the music sucks, but who cares? So do the videos. So what do you care? Anyways, I've got all my moons now from all over the place that I've downloaded and printed up, just like I recommended for Ziggy and Wolfus and Harold to do. But I don't see anybody else doing this. They don't. I guess they're not as impressed as I am by this. And that's fine, that's expected. But I'm going to continue on. I went and watched the videos back of when I was tracing out, and I think what I can do is I can take away some of the glare by not using Wolfus's thing. Wolfus's, handy little idea here was good for some things, but not for everything. For running on the turntable, it seems to be fine because you can control the glare. But when you're constantly moving the camera around and shit like that, forget about it. So I'm going to go back, and also cropping. It doesn't crop very good because it keeps everything way out. And it's a pain in the balls. I have to have the lights all around in weird places, and I can't move it. So in other words, it sucks for me to be able to show you in some situations. But as far as the turntable goes, that's fine. So these are just moon photographs. Some taken with forward telescope, standard telescope. Some taken with a reverse telescope, and I'm just mounting a camera on there. You see I got a crappy little setup. I'm explaining some of this because some people were asking what it is I'm doing. I don't know. But, I'm explaining it as I go along. So I don't know what you mean by what is it that I'm trying to prove or what's going on. I don't know. But anyways, I'll just explain what it is I'm doing. Anyone can do this. You can all, if you watch those videos, I explain that you can go download photographs of the moon so that you can go in on them like this. And I'm not sure, like I said, how helpful this thing is going to be for me. I may end up taking it down as well. I'll see. Because I can do the same shit with my camera and I don't get all that glare. I can control my glare much easier and get all the same imagery out of the moons. So these are just, again, moon photographs. Going on the turntable there. They're going up side by side for comparisons. That's why I've got them side by side doing this and still turning those. And that's about it. So I'm going to put you on the turntable right now. Okay, so I'm just gonna add a filter, a red filter to help out the contrast. Maybe a blue filter. Let's see what I got here. Red, adding a red filter, one of these cheap ass shitty filters. You need contrast. Probably turn this bulb back on. Line you back up. Give the camera a minute to settle. Somewhere around there. Trying to keep the light out of the situation. Okay, that I can do. change my angle. A little bit more. South. Should be good. Yeah, there's a lot of glare in that thing. That's the only thing. I'm watching a video over here on the other computer, and I can see why people would have a hard time with it. So I'm not going to use it for anything other than what I'm doing now. It's more controlled. Trying to trace with it and shit like that. I see glare all over the fucking place. It's just going to be too confusing for people. But what I'm doing now with it, shit seems to be fine. I can watch it right from here, and if it goes out of kilter or whatever, then, you know, if I all of a sudden start seeing it glare out or something like that, then I can make adjustments. That's some good shit, man. Forced into having to make my own fucking music. Copyright motherfuckers, man. Let's see what else I can pull out of my bag of tricks here. Let's see. Everything looks good on the screen. You guys should be able to see this, what it is I'm showing you. If you can't see it, look at it a little bit further. Take your camera out of your hand, use your camera as a viewing device and look at the monitor. Make sure you pause it. I explained a lot of details along the way of better ways and easier ways to go ahead and see this. The only thing that this takes is you have to be willing to put away your imagination. You have to be able to put away your imagination and don't use it anymore. This is the reality of it, and you're going to have to look at things in a different way if you want to see what it is I'm showing you anyway. If you want to continue to live in an imagination world, then that's fine. The whole biosystem, all the religions, the science, it's all fucking bullshit. So if you want to continue to live there, well, join the club. There's 7.8 billion of these zombie slaves. No shit. But your imagination, is useless here. I'm looking at things for what they are. We can all see them. We can all feel them, taste them, hear them for what they are. Nobody wants to do that. We all want to use our imagination. So I'm done with that. And I don't want to go down any rabbit holes that are going to, be me using my imagination. I really, like I said, I had enough of it. Television shows, YouTube stars, whatever, radio fucking stars, all of it. It's all garbage. I don't own a television. I watch old nostalgic movies and it aggravates me even to watch those. Just because it's so phony. Everything's so fucking easy to spot all the fakeness, and you're like, can't anybody, do any good acting or, good props or good television shows or movies to set some kind of reality? Nope. And I think that's purposeful too. Just make sure to keep them all so fucking baffled and busy, chasing down all this bullshit that can never be proven. Using their imagination to train to use their imagination from the time they're little babies. You have to. For all the bullshit stories that are about to come in our lives that we are forced to believe in. Not forced, but pretty much tricked into believing, programmed to believe in. So there's the one right in front of you, taking up the whole left-hand side of the screen pretty much that I was tracing out yesterday. I learned my lesson with tracing. I'm not going to trace anymore. I realized what was happening is that I was fucking writing over the builder's work. I was going over the builder's work. No wonder it never looked right. It never looked correct. And it just hit me yesterday when I was doing some tracing. I'm like, oh, so I'm changing the fucking lights and shadows with my human influence. That's what was happening. So I'm not going to do that anymore. From now on, I'm just going to put the tape over the plastic. And I'm going to tape out the area just around it so all the detail stays. Otherwise, it won't change image to image to image and angles if I'm taking away their ability to show me that. And that's exactly what my marker was doing. In other words, there were a lot of little jig-jags that I was missing. And that's not the system's work. That's my work. That would be my work. I'm trying to follow the lines. But I got the microscope set over here, and I'm going to show you those lines a little deeper and go through all that with everyone, or the few people that are watching my channel anyway. Then I'll show you that it doesn't matter. You can go from your telescope, your eye. Once you get this down pat with the telescope, then you just look up with your eyes and you'll see all the large images with your eyes. Seriously, man, you will not need a fucking nothing. So this way it takes out any digital fuckery. Then when you want to go in real deep on the imagery, right? The same way I'm bringing you deeper and deeper here on the paper. Okay, you can do the same thing on your telescope. You can go in deeper with the telescope. Then when you bring it back to the desk, you'll know the areas that you're looking for, and you go in deep on them with the telescope. Take your photographs or your videos of it at that depth, and then bring it back and look at it on the computer. And you'll be like, oh, fuck, man, it's the same imagery. So, you know, don't be fooled by thinking that, because every little angle you turn, yes, you're changing the look of something. So but you can see those lines, is my point. You'll see those lines of intent. That's what they are. They're lines of intent that the builders are creating. And they're not just in the dark colors. I'm only showing you the dark colors because those are easier for me to show you and for you to identify with. That's the way it was for me. And then all the other colors came out, and then I was like, oh shit, okay, I see. So these triangles are the ones that are pushing and pulling all these heavy metals and minerals into places. If you want to think of it as a computer screen or a monitor of some kind or something like that, then yes, they're pushing all the carbons into place. And just like the pixels in the television or the pixels in the TV screen all being pushed into place to create these images for you in front of your eyes, right, on the screen. Same thing. So that's why it's important that once you do identify these images through a telescope, you know, it starts here with me, right? I come along, I say that I'm going to show you this shit and how to go do it yourself. Then you're going to have some fear factors you're going to have to get over, and you can go in and download the videos of the moon going by someone else's telescope if you don't have one for yourself, and you can also download a bunch of photographs of the moon, the full moons preferably. You want those for comparisons. You want them for comparisons on the imagery. When you start seeing the imagery, you want to be able to put them side by side. You want reverse telescope photos and standard telescope photos and shit like that. You want a range of things so that you can verify for yourself that the imagery is all the same. Start with the furthest out, largest images that take up the entire moon, and then go to the ones that take up to half the moon, and so on and so forth. Just like I've been doing here for you on paper and on video. I'm going to do more of the videos because I want to make sure, but I have to stay on the moon. At least for another 50 to 75 videos I'm going to be going at the moon. Because once I get done with all these research vids, then I'm going to go back and remaster the research vids where I can sit behind a computer and point shit out and stuff like that better. And trace, even I'm going to do some tracing on the computer too. So this way we can take away this paper idea that, you know, Rufus is going to laugh at and other people might laugh at. Don't laugh at it. The paper is actually better than going to the computer. I would say it's the next best thing after just using your own eyes. But if you go out and especially this time of year, you can see the moon so clearly. You put your glasses on if you wear glasses, but that's about it. And then just once you got the imagery down pat, hold a photograph of the moon in your hand for that matter. And then just look at the photograph of the moon on all the different angles that I'm explaining to you. Because see, all these angles are making a big difference. All these angles make a big difference. So some of these videos that I'm showing you like this right now, things may not be all clear to you, may all look collage, but I can go in deeper and pick out each image out of there. And that's what I was hoping your eyes would do, you know, anyone coming. I can be over there with the lights and bringing the lights back and forth and try to make shit more clear, but I'm purposely letting them run through this way because I need you to understand, anyone coming here to this channel, is that you know, you gotta look. You have to look. You have to use your eyes to look, especially if they're collage like this. Like right now, I just let the light run off, right? Because that moon is turning, so its lights and shadows have changed up. there are better angles. If I go start moving shit around, I can find a better angle where the imagery will show through to you better. Like this. And change up the light, and you'll get a little more detail, and then I can move my top light and do the same thing, you know. And this is just on a turntable for my convenience, because I was just really sick and tired of fucking sitting and standing there turning the goddamn moon. So now it's easy. I can set this up. I can do other shit in the background, play some music, and then what I'll do is I go back at the, let's say, 25 research vids that I'm making on paper, and then I can sit behind the computer and just go over them with anybody, you know, during the series. I'm going to do it as part of the series. And then I'll be able to show everybody what it is I'm doing and what I'm looking at a little more clearly. There we go. See the outlines. See the what I would call the tracing. The evidence of the builders is there for you. The intent of the builders, I should say, the intent of what they're building. So even if you don't see it clear as day, you'll see the outline of it. Like, see the huge human face right there, with the eye, nose, and mouth, humongous, taking up the whole fucking screen. I've already showed you him at other angles, and he's the same one that has the sideburns at another angle. But there's many images in there that are just that large as well. You know, they're all coming through. But you're going to have to be the ones to go and look for yourselves, you know. I'm only showing you how to do this part of it. I guess I could do that. Probably to get it lower. But this is shit that we can all do for ourselves. We don't need anybody to tell us this shit or anything like that. That's what I'm trying to do anyways. I'm trying to show you that you can just go see it for yourself. Let's see if I try here. See if this is a good spot for the camera, for the lights. Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's a pretty good spot, I guess. Alright, so I'll let that one stay there. And then this one can come over here. There we go. See what I mean? So I can fuck with my lights and give myself more detail on these certain images that I'm trying to let you see that they're there, you know. And we're not in deep. We're just past the first few layers, the largest images, and then I'm saying to go down to the next sizes, but I mean there's many sizes. It's the way the entire system works. I could do the same thing that I'm doing here on the moon, and then what I wanted to stress is it's already 44 minutes. Alright, so that's it. I'll be right back.